Okay, welcome to Campfire Chronicles, episode 19. We've got the whole gang here. It's always sunny in Columbus.
Yes, today is the day after Christmas.
It's Boxing Day.
Oh, okay. Why did you shave your beard? I think that's the first question people should ask.
Oh, because it just
You got a lot of positive feedback on that.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Was that your beard? Or what?
The last podcast.
I don't know that I would call it a beard, but it got a little, it just stopped, it stagnated.
The thing is about Asians and beards is that what you saw in him was about as much as it was going to
Right,
be.
yeah. No, like I shaved, or I left it unshaved for almost the entire month of November. And I think around like week 2, it just...
It just stopped. Look at Taj and just be like, oh yeah.
You see, you saw my beard when I first came here. It was a lot bigger than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And then I accidentally, the guard on the razor slipped from 11 millimeters to 3 millimeters. I was like, ooh, doesn't look right.
So you kept going. Okay, so today we're here to talk about New Year's. That's very interesting, Thomas.
We're not going to talk about that.
Today we're here to talk about New Year's resolutions, or what you did in 2017 that you're proud of or not proud of, and just your thoughts on the end of the year.
I'm proud of nothing.
So I guess we can talk about the channel a little bit. We went to Mount Whitney.
Oh, yeah.
We went to Germany. And that's all I remember, actually. We didn't go anywhere else. Like, now that I think about it.
Pictured rocks.
New River Gorge.
Yeah, Picture Rock's not out yet, though.
Yeah. Oh.
New River Gorge.
New River Gorge was in springtime last year, so that was almost like 10 months ago.
Wow.
That's weird how quickly that goes by. When we got back from that trip was when we saw the Star Wars trailer. The
Oh,
first.
yeah. Yeah, the
It's
teaser.
weird how long it's been. But I don't know. My New Year's resolutions, I think, is like to continue to attempt to fix my sleep schedule and try not to fail every time. And
Yeah, right.
That
Well,
will never be a thing.
I had a New Year's resolution for like the past 3 years to go to bed at 11. And I realized that the problem with that is that that's not really in your control, because it's like a hormonal thing. Like, you can go to bed at 11 every night, but some nights you're going to be just lying in bed for like 2 or 3 hours just trying to go to bed. So instead, I'm like trying to transition my resolutions from something that I can't really control into something like, instead, eating right and getting up at the right time so that the 11 p.m. bedtime happens more naturally rather than trying to force it.
I do want to try reading more, like maybe an hour every day or something.
Well, let me ask you guys this question. Do you think New Year's resolutions are worth making, and do you make them?
I don't think you need New Year's to make a resolution, but if that's going to be the motivator, it works for some, so who am I to say it doesn't?
So you don't make resolutions?
Yeah, I try and use the time of year to kind of think about what I've done and how I could improve myself. But it's more of an ongoing thing. I think the worst thing to do is say, okay, it's the beginning of the new year, I'm going to lose weight, because everyone else is going to be doing that. I think you should, if you want to lose weight, definitely go lose weight, but don't let that be a seasonal thing. Okay, I'm going to give myself 3 months and then I'm going to start losing weight. If that's important to you, then you should start doing it.
Yeah, I just feel like the year is like such a nice round, like, new start. That I think it's like, I don't know, I think it's useful as a motivating tool to like start on the new year.
No, I think it's good to have like times in your life where you're like, okay, this is when I'm gonna it's bad if you keep doing that and you keep picking stuff up. But I think there's nothing wrong with like having a period in your life where you're like, okay, I want to really try to make a change, and if it's New Year's, who cares? Like,
yeah.
Maybe people are like, I don't know. Do people like joke about New Year's resolutions and like?
Well, I just always think it's funny
Yeah.
because like when my mom and I had the Zumba studio, every year, like clockwork, January, February, and March were just our busiest times. People just continually make those resolutions, but they never stick with them. And we all know that we don't stick with them, but we keep making the resolutions anyway.
We should have a quarter-year resolution.
That's not a bad idea.
No. I'm looking, I'm moving back home and I'm quitting my job end of February, but I'm using that time, using a month period after that just to kind of think about who I am, where I am, and try and make changes within that month period of just unemployment.
Well, actually, why don't you go talk about the reasons for why you're moving back, if you care to share them?
I just want to go back to school. I think I'm at a good point in my career where I'm looking at it. I'm in the industry that I love, but it's not. It's tough. I'm in the industry that I love, but what I'm doing, it's something I thought I wanted to do, and the more I do it, the more I realize that I think somebody else could do a better job, and I think my skills could be used elsewhere. But in order to do that, I got to go back to school for MBA.
He also misses chumming around with all of us.
I do.
That's the real reason.
Yeah.
We added you to the intro.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I was so touched by that. It sounded sarcastic,
Well,
but I really
remove him from the intro.
No, it sounded sarcastic, but I really was.
It's just like every time Thomas does something we don't like, we should threaten him with like, oh, you want me to remove you from the intro?
Move for the delete button.
Every time I do something good, you're like, oh, you want me to add you in the profile picture?
Oh yeah, I guess we should do that.
we gotta figure something out. Yeah.
Maybe take a picture today.
Actually, yeah, no, because that thumbnail for our trailer with the three of us, we could add.
Oh yeah. We could do like a Voltron thing, where it does a split screen, and we just like each we could like wear different like Power Rangers outfits.
Star Wars style poster, like.
That would be great.
That'd be cool.
Just put Thomas's head on BB-8.
BB-8.
Everything's been drifting to Star Wars. Every conversation.
Okay, well we can talk about it if you guys want to.
Yeah.
No.
Let's say that for another time. I think if you want to watch our thoughts on Star Wars, check out Robby's channel.
Yeah, because I want to get in depth about Star Wars.
That's going to be spoiler.
Yeah,
Spoiler
heavy.
heavy.
Yeah.
Spoiler heavy.
Well, no, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like I've probably got more resolutions floating around my head. I just don't want to share them because I don't want people to know
Yeah.
how inadequate of a human being I am.
No,
Same here. Same here.
Yeah.
share your inadequacies. It makes you more human.
Yeah. Well.
I mean, I'll share my inadequacies first.
I have
if you
a
want me
question.
to.
Is being neater among any of those resolutions?
Sure. Yeah. No, I think in general, just like. Thomas, you are.
It's just sitting right here for the last week.
Actually, was that?
It was here.
It might be a different can.
Okay, if this
I eat sardines a good amount.
I'll give you. Okay.
Because I see some sriracha in there, and I feel like I might have done that yesterday.
Well, the beer cans that were there a week ago are still
Yeah.
there. In fact, those have probably been 2 weeks at this point.
You got some balsamic.
Okay, well, I'll share my inadequacies. So the thing that I'm just trying to do in general is to, like, I found that I can get the most, like, you know how you always make like these resolutions, like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but then when push comes to shove, you just don't feel like doing it. The main thing that I've found to actually make those things happen is to just focus on my health. Like if I just focus on my health, those things come naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Like motivation to do things, that comes about when I am well rested. I've had enough to eat that's not low quality crap that just makes me feel like more crap. And it makes it so much easier to just do like things like you know how like when you lie in bed at night and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this. And you get like these great ideas and you're all motivated.
It's always at night. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you're
always
motivated in bed, but then as soon as you get up in the morning, you're just like,
Yeah.
that motivation's gone. And I feel like if you can keep your health good, is good the right word there?
Well,
Health. If your
You
health
keep
is
yourself
good,
healthy.
yes. If you keep yourself healthy, then during the day you'll actually have that motivation to do things.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of it is also just doing small things and trying to fall into a pattern of it.
Oh yeah, like
Get into the inertia of life.
yeah. I think the key is to get out of the inertia of the
Yeah.
bad.
You're lucky that I'm coming back with my cattle prod and coming knocking on your house every day saying, all right, what are we going to do today? Got 6 months of me doing it.
Yeah, so you're moving back.
I'm moving back. I got a few different New Year's resolutions, even though I just said that. Well, whatever. One of them is to work on the channel almost full time between when I quit my job and when I started school.
Okay. When are you starting school?
August.
August. Oh, okay, so you got a lot of time.
I got
okay.
6 months of fun employment for focusing on the channel here.
That'd be great, yeah.
So hopefully we'll get some more Andrew content, more Bryan content.
So, do we have a like ideas? Like we always do one big trip every year. Do you have an idea of what you guys want to do for the big trip next year?
I do.
Well, don't we have one kind of?
The China one?
Yeah.
So I mean that's a big trip, but Thomas isn't going on that.
Oh, you're just talking about, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think we've officially like discussed or agreed on one.
Yeah, no,
I think we should go to Greenland.
that's
sorry,
right.
Iceland.
Oh, yeah, that's all
Go to
the rage.
Cleveland. It's $350 for a two-way plane ticket.
Reykjavik
It's
or
so
whatever.
weird. Why is it so cheap?
Because it's cheaper. The cheapest thing about going to Iceland is going to Iceland.
Oh, everything else is expensive.
That's what they say, but I think we can do a smart job of camping. And
We should watch Syntax's video because he went to Iceland.
did you go to Iceland?
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I know some people who've done there
So
too.
for some tips.
I really want to get. I think a lot of my New Year's resolution has to do with the channel and getting a lot more exposure out there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like one of the things that we as adventure archives could do is make more content on a regular
Yeah.
basis, and we were talking about that. But it's one thing to keep making the content, but someone's got to push out and make connections. And I think there's some possibilities out there with PBS, with certain brands out there that we can reach and say, hey, we got some good stuff.
I think if we make more videos, I mean, we were talking about this earlier, but if we make more videos that are actually catered to what people watch on YouTube, like top 10 lists, top 5 lists, and those type of things. Because, like, the videos are really cool to watch, but they're not the type of thing that somebody would go out of their way to clickbait right into, get reeled into.
Yeah.
Do you remember back when we started the channel and we had the side videos? We were like, how do we get more clicks? And we were like, we're gonna put red arrows in the thumbnails and stuff.
I tried that on one episode, yeah.
Now I see that, like, now I notice that a lot in certain, like, people's videos. I'm like, wow, people really do believe that, don't they?
It works.
It's
I mean,
funny.
like, we were talking about clickbait last night during Christmas, and my sister-in-law was talking about some sort of How I Met Your Mother clickbait that she actually accidentally started reading. And I was like, I would click on a How I Met Your Mother clickbait, and I've never even seen the show. Like, the clickbait is so effective, you're like, oh yeah, I want to know why he didn't date that one girl.
But it's kind of scummy too, in a way.
It's terrible, yeah.
It's terrible,
Yeah.
but that's kind of one of my New Year's resolutions is like, all right, you can play life fair, but if everyone else is going to play scummy,
Well, no, I mean,
how are you gonna-
Thomas's New Year resolution: be more scummy.
we're gonna hoodwink people, but hoodwink them in a good way.
Okay.
So we're gonna hoodwink you into watching the video.
One
It's
thing
actually worth your
one
time.
thing you'll know for sure is that you won't have to sift through like a minute of like introduction in our
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah.
Because so many times you click something and someone in the comments is like, okay, this is when you find out what the title was.
It's like, yo, what up, my boy Andrew here.
Uh,
We're going to talk about our favorite tulip poplar.
We can get to 30,000 likes on this video. That would be awesome.
they do
I
that.
don't think we don't even get 30,000 views.
That's true.
Yeah, we do.
Not on our side videos.
Oh, on our side business.
Which, by the way, that confuses me. We put up side videos all the time.
Oh yeah, that is a good question.
And it's like, and I'm not complaining or anything, but why do those side videos only hit 8,000? And I think I found the answer to this, by the way. While our full episodes, Whitney's already at like 30,000.
What is the answer?
Almost
What do you
30,000.
think it is?
The sharing. I think people are more likely to share the full videos, like post them on Facebook, post them on.
But like
send them to
Kurt River was basically an episode,
Yeah.
just not as long.
I know. I
I'm really
understand
curious.
why
Like, yeah.
that.
We should ask them to
Yeah.
comment about
Yeah.
like what about the channel makes you gravitate more towards the full episodes, if that's the case with you at least. If you're watching this podcast, you should probably just watch all of them.
And according to YouTube, that doesn't make sense because our side videos are between 5 and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Those are that's like the perfect.
I feel like the
Like-
titles aren't that different.
Yeah.
It's like one theory I had is maybe our layout of the channel has more influence than I realized. Like people know that we're about the full episode, but I don't know.
Well, I just feel like the full episodes is like the bread and butter. Like if I were watching this channel, that's what I would be most excited about.
Right.
Like the side videos, like, oh, it's just a side video.
Sure.
I would say it's because, well, this is what I've always thought, it's just that the stuff we do in the full episodes just have more searchability. And that's really the main thing is that, you know, people aren't going to search for our podcast as much. They're not going to search.
Well, a podcast, of course.
Well, yeah, no.
But I
I'm
mean, like just
using
any
it as an
other
example.
hiking video.
Like the final CR video. The CR is a big clickable word, and I think and I'm the first to admit it, that it might be just because it's a me video, it doesn't have the rest of you guys, and that itself is a deterrent.
Nuclear deterrence.
I don't mean to say that in a self-deprecating way, but it's it's just not as interesting when it's just one person. But the clickability is there. Sierra, it has fall in the Sierra. I thought that would have been bigger, and
our subscribers might just know about navigating the channel. They might have more of an influence than we realize. Because
maybe.
I mean, I still think my biggest belief is just that it comes down to searchability. Even if you think something has searchability, it's just so hard to predict. Because when you look at other people's YouTube channels, people who upload a lot of videos consistently. Like just for example, I was looking at some YouTube video or some channel last night, and it's completely unrelated to hiking or anything, but it was about Destiny, and it was about this guy who uploads Destiny videos, and a lot of his, and it's basically gameplay. He does a lot. He's really good at the game, and he does some of the hardest content. Like Andrew understands this, but he was doing the Prestige Nightfall solo, okay, and those videos get 20,000 views compared to his other regular videos where it'd be just him doing
normal stuff.
talking about the missions or something like that, and that would be 8,000 views. So
maybe people really notice the content that stands out or something.
Maybe.
It's more searchable. I don't know.
I
But
think
the thumbnails were all exactly the same. You know, the only difference in the thumbnails was the text on it.
Well, I mean, that's a more interesting video to watch. Prestige Nightfall
Yeah,
solo.
so I'm saying
than just random mission solo.
Yeah, exactly. So it's because his subscriber count wasn't 20,000, so it was just I guess searchability makes a huge difference.
No, I think it just makes sense that the videos are better. Our full episodes are just better videos than side videos.
Yeah.
Except for Kern River, I mean that's
Yeah,
pretty
see,
much
that's what's been-
indistinguishable from a full episode. I feel like, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you think Kern River by now would have.
It's always a mystery.
Well, because even our most the episodes we do that are at the most weird locations, what's the word? I don't know. But anyway, those usually rack up 20,000 views in a couple weeks. Whereas Kern River, you'd think wouldn't be that different in
I
terms
think
of
it just broke 10,000.
right.
So that can be a good segue into the next thing, which is all right. So we have our full episodes, which people seem to like. We have our side videos, which I'm not going to say no one likes, but fewer people like. What other videos can we make that people out there would be interested in seeing?
Yeah, I guess that's the question we'd have to ask them. What do you want to watch?
Because we can try making gear videos. We don't love making gear videos, but
We very much dislike making videos, actually.
we talked about making some food videos, recipe videos and stuff. Your camera review video is actually the second most popular video on our channel.
Yeah, well, that's the one time in my life that I said, I'm going to make this video, and I know for a fact it's going to get 100,000 views. It's got over 200,000 now, but that's also not our channel's content, so I doubt the people who are subscribed want more camera reviews. That's just a special one-off case.
But I don't know. We've also talked about adding the top 5 lists.
Yeah.
Top 5 places in Ohio to go camping. I want to do a how to hike in Los Angeles, because everyone goes to the same 2 places, Running Canyon and the Hollywood Sign, and they're okay, those places are great, but there's so many more places out there, and I got to show people where those places are, because no one else seems to.
Actually, one thing we could mention is because if I were watching right now, the one thing I would be thinking is, well, why don't you just make more full episodes?
Why not?
The deterrent, or not deterrent, but the reason why, at least for me, we don't make more is because it's really creatively taxing, just totally disregarding how hard it is to schedule everybody to do a trip. So doing one trip a month, I think we can get up to that pace. We were at there for a while, and then I don't know what happened. But the week or week and a half of editing and writing music is just, once you're done with that, you're I can't look at this for at least a week or two.
Yeah.
So to do 2 a month Just like I don't think we can ever get.
We don't even like. We watched the episode like once or twice after we're done, and then
Yeah.
after that we just like don't even watch it.
Yeah,
At least
no. Like I might watch scenes, but like
yeah.
when we first started making videos, like after we finished, I'd watch them over and over again. But now it's like I'll watch it once, I'm like, I'm good.
Oh, I would say, to be fair, that when you guys edit the full videos, you like
Oh, you go ham.
like burn yourself out. Like you go like, you know, I don't know, 18 hours a day or
Well, I
something.
mean, I don't know any other way to do it. Because if it
Well, no,
takes
but
a
I'm
week
saying-
of burning yourself out to do one episode, how could we moderate that and increase the pace? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, like your schedule, from what I've noticed, is like your schedule really doesn't follow like. I don't know. It just seems like because since you don't live here, like you don't live near us,
Right.
most of the time you come over here and then you only have a very limited amount of time, so you guys
Well,
try
I mean-
and cram as much in there. But I feel like if the ability for you to, like this is just all hypothetical, but it's like if you guys live together, right? Then you could like do like a normal like work for 6 hours, like a kind of a semi-normal work schedule.
Yeah.
And then you would feel less burned out because you'd be on a rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, rather than suddenly for a week you're just nonstop, you know, cramming things into this
That's
video.
true, yeah.
So
And that's kind of what I want to do with Andrew. And you, when I get here, I'm like, okay, well, I got nothing to do today. You know, we don't have to make full episodes, but why don't we go out and just shoot some random stuff. Try out some of those other videos we were just talking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, maybe it is possible that we could. I just don't know. One every 2 weeks, though, just seems like...
A full episode?
Oh, yeah.
No,
I mean, just
no.
like you said, just the logistics of planning.
Yeah.
Well, actually, on sort of a similar topic, I know me and Thomas were talking about this, but like I've always wanted to do, like I remember way back when I had the idea for like an urban episode or something. I don't think that would actually fit, but like you were talking about how it'd be cool to do some sort of video where we go places and we actually like talk to people and like explore things outside of just purely wilderness backpack.
It's adventure archives, it's not hiking archives.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, I love hiking, and I think that hiking should be the bread and butter of the show. But I like the idea of going to some of, you know, when we drive to Hocking Hills, and we look at like an interesting town that's like way off in the distance, and you know, I've always wanted to go there and find out who's at the bar.
Like it could be its own series, but
Yeah.
it'd still be like a meaty piece of content. Yeah, no, because it's so interesting to hear what other people have to say. And like,
There's so many shows out there where people go to New York or LA or San Francisco, and everyone goes to those places. Why don't people go to just towns no one ever seems to notice?
That's something we could totally do. I actually think Urban Archives could totally fit
Yeah.
the channel.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, people might say like, no, I want outdoors wilderness, but like, they also haven't seen what we could do with an
True.
Urban Archives.
And also, if they don't like it,
They don't have to watch it.
they don't have to watch it. It's not like we're compromising other videos for the sake of these videos.
Yeah. I mean, that would also help with burnout as well,
Mhm.
because it'd be a different type of video from doing
yeah.
hiking videos. And be a different type of music and stuff too, because like that's like the big like when I say creatively taxing, like music is like what I'm talking about. Like editing is like that's very just put it in place. But like writing music is just so exhausting.
You know what would be cool for the Urban Archives videos too would be guest musicians,
Oh,
because
yeah.
we wouldn't have to. You know, I know you like to keep the hiking videos to like pretty close to the chest on the music.
Yeah.
But if for the urban ones, you know, we have messages kind of not all the time, but I'm sure if we opened it up a little bit more, we get some decent up and coming artists locally
Yeah, no.
who would just want to put your stuff out there, and you know, happy to put that out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's our next pilot.
Yeah. No, it's funny actually. Good Mythical Morning, a really big YouTube channel. They just switched to this 4-episode format where they release 4 videos every day, and like the show only got better as far as I was concerned. But the comments, like people were like, at the beginning, I think people adjusted to it, but they were like, "Oh, I don't like this. This is so different from the original." Blah blah blah. And I think whenever you do anything new, even if it's
People don't
like
like
still
it.
the same thing, it's like there will be that resistance.
We got
Whether it's a YouTube channel or an 8th episode of a Star Wars series, you try something new,
Yeah, exactly.
people aren't going to like it.
on that Kern River video, we got some comments saying like that somebody didn't like it. It felt too much like an Anthony Bourdain show, and I was like, I will take that as a compliment. Actually.
There's
Love
something.
Anthony Bourdain.
This is a total side note because you talking about that reminded me. There was a comment on one of your FYP videos,
Oh yeah.
which was sponsored by the National Parks and Subaru and some other things. I think I was like, it feels like it was sponsored by Subaru or something. Like, well, that's because it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny.
Yes.
Anyways, I had something to add there, but now I'm totally lost track of thought. Oh, right. So actually, one of the side video ideas for me and Andrew, and I guess we kind of, I don't know if we
Food?
just, the food, like it was like a camping food side video, because we tend to try to, cook a lot of interesting things in our videos. Of course, not all of them are very practical, but I think it'd be cool if we took some of our ideas and like maybe user submitted ideas and created really nice videos about, preparing those foods at the campfire, because I think a lot of people, especially people who are new to camping, just have zero idea about what they should bring for food and what they should do for food, and people think that when you go camping.
You have to eat like
You have to eat
gray
like-
slop.
Yeah, ramen and, like
Oatmeal.
freeze-dried, the $10 bags of dehydrated food, so,
Yeah.
yeah, well.
Don't get Alpine Air.
Yeah, don't get out on
Like,
there.
sorry, Alpine Air, if you're watching, like, everybody thinks you suck.
Especially the veggie burrito. Well, the burritos.
No, like, all the comments, they were agreeing with us that
Yeah,
Alpine
yeah.
Air is terrible.
Terrible. Should've known.
So, but I want to put it out there. So, like, if you got suggestions on, like, if you think you've got a good camping food, and you want us to like give it a shot, I'm totally down to do that, because we would like ideas on that.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's willing to carry like canned tomato sauce like Andrew.
And not that this is backpacking practical by any means, but I did just get a nice 12-inch cast iron skillet that I plan on
Nice.
taking on some.
Didn't you have a 12-inch something like pan in Yellowstone?
It was like a stainless steel
Yeah, okay.
nonstick
Yeah.
something. But I got this cast iron skillet. Cast iron
Did
skillet.
you season it and stuff already?
It comes pre-seasoned, but I got to re-season it just in case everything. But
I never had much luck with cast iron. Like, I've tried to use it before, but I've always used it on a traditional stove, not like on an actual fire.
I'm gonna try both. But I'm just so excited for that.
Have some big meals.
That's gotta be pretty heavy.
Oh, it's so heavy.
Yeah, that's gotta feel like.
That's like car camping.
That is barely
Like I've always thought about reserving cast iron stuff to just canoe camping.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be awesome.
We did that. At Mammoth, right?
Yeah,
Cast iron?
did. Cast iron.
Oh yeah.
It was a small one too.
Yeah.
All that footage was lost. Right?
No, we got it with the one camera.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
just
some
no
of it.
close up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the close-up stuff. Cool.
That's a good episode.
We'll take a quick pause.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and we will rejoin you in a few seconds.
I know, I just feel like it's too
It's because you don't want
Okay, so I'm just gonna say we're back, and then we'll answer questions. Okay?
Is that good to go?
Not yet. Almost. Start live video. Checking connection.
That is.
I have a question. Alright.
Is it live?
Yep, I think I gotta hold it this way though. Here.
It's fine. Okay, and we're back. We're also live on Instagram. Thomas is doing a live feed so we can get questions. And we've got questions from the last episode. This one is from Nancy Ow. She says, here's a silly one. Would you rather eat poop-flavored curry or curry-flavored poop?
I would do poop flavored curry because, one, depending on the type of poop, it might not be that bad. Okay, it might smell. Sometimes you poop and you're like, this smells like food, and if it was food, it wouldn't smell that bad. And second, you're still eating curry, whereas eating poop gives you diseases and bacteria.
That's true.
Yeah, so that's the killer for me is I would do poop-flavored curry because we know that curry is actually food. Curry-flavored poop is still poop.
Oh, when you have to eat it? I thought your poop would just smell like curry.
No, you'd eat it.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
no.
would you rather eat it? Yeah.
Okay. For all of you, if you have any questions, we're answering questions on our next podcast. So feel free to type them in and we'll answer them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the poop flavored curry, like, obviously we'd all go with curry.
That's a consensus right there.
Okay, so Kanzi asks, how would you speak on backpacking in terms of a SHTF bug out experience?
That means the S word hits the fan.
Oh.
So like a sort of bug out survival. I don't know.
How would you speak on backpacking in terms of a bug out experience?
What does that mean?
I don't know. Yeah,
I'm not experienced enough to speak on.
Yeah, well, like, I assume he's not talking about. Like,
Well, let's start off like, have we ever had that experience?
no.
Nobody's ever had that experience.
Like the closest would be blackouts or something. You know, it's probably the most apocalyptic experience we've had, right? Blackouts.
I guess I misunderstood the question because I was like, you're camping and then.
No, so I think that acronym, I think, and bugging out generally refers to like some sort of disaster happens,
see.
and you gotta like bring your bug out bag and
Yeah.
like get out there and escape and like make sure you're away from danger.
Honestly, for me, whenever I had given it thought, it was just basically, I would basically have everything that I bring on a backpacking trip. Because that's probably the most prepared I'll ever be, is if I just, in the mindset of, like, what do I need? Like, water filter, water, food, and clothes, and things like that. That's the most I've thought about it, you know.
yeah.
I know a lot of people, other people, who are into, like, prepping and making a bug-out bag, who probably are, like, laughing at me, but...
Nicole is into it, right?
Yeah, she's technically, I think she's got a bug-out bag.
Really curious what she would have to say, but I've definitely thought about it, and like I thought it would be cool to have like a bag in my car and here that I could just like grab when what I need. And
I agree.
I especially like the idea. This isn't exactly like a survival thing, but I like the idea of being able to like travel in my car and also just sleep in it if I need to.
I like, I've never ridden a motorcycle, but I feel like if you have a bug out bag, you might as well have a motorcycle. Just like cut in between the cars and weave all around.
Yeah, that's
Driving through the forest.
like on Independence Day when all like the
Yeah.
traffic, you can just go right through everybody. No, I guess yeah. If like some type of event happened that I would need to do that, which I can't really think of any event where I would need to do that. Like even if like a nuclear bomb got dropped, like in a city, like say it got dropped downtown, right? But
Yeah.
the fallout, like the explosion didn't reach here, but like I had to get out of here. Like I would still have a car, and I would try to get to like another city. I don't think I'd just head right to the wilderness.
Yeah.
But I mean, just backpacking stuff, water filter,
Yeah, tent,
sleeping bag, tent.
I feel like there'd be potential to refocus what you're carrying in the sense that like maybe one obviously more necessities versus like luxuries, but also like maybe you would bring certain tools so you could like sustain yourself out there rather than bringing the item itself. Like I don't know, like if you were really good at it, you could like bring a hatchet and a saw instead of a shelter to like build a shelter.
Or you could bring a shelter and a hatchet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just like for me personally, I don't have any experience with making that stuff.
Yeah.
So if I were doing it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't bring tools.
No. Yeah.
Just because now we have 22. If you have any questions, we're answering questions on our next Campfire Chronicles podcast. So please ask questions because we haven't gotten any questions yet.
So
Please.
Botany Boy says, have any of you guys tried lucid dreaming or OBE techniques?
Oh,
What's OBE?
I don't know. I'll Google it while you guys answer.
Lucid dreaming.
Outer body experience.
yeah.
I don't think I've really tried anything, but I will say I've had a lucid dream before. I remember distinctly one of them was, I was dreaming that I was in my room, and I became aware that it was a dream. And I was like, I kind of want to wake up now. And I just thought to myself, like, I'm going to close my eyes really hard and like try to force myself awake, and I did, and I actually woke up.
That's lucid dreaming?
I think that's sort of lucid. Like, lucid is when you're aware and when you can control
I think
yourself.
it's just being aware is the main thing.
That's probably the most that I've ever had too, then with being aware that I was dreaming and trying to wake myself up. I've never actually tried anything like that.
This doesn't answer the question completely, but I do want to try sensory deprivation chambers.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few in Los Angeles, and before I move back, I want to hit one of those up and at least try it because I
Bring your GoPro. So you can just have a black screen of talking or something like, yep, I feel pretty deprived.
I think it'd be interesting. I've heard people.
It'd be interesting, yeah.
A lot of hikers, a lot of PCT hikers do that for de-stressing after a hike or something.
Yeah, it's supposed to be very therapeutic.
Mhm.
I have had lucid dreams before. I think I've had like 3 or 4. And they were never purposely induced, but during the dream it was really weird because I realized I was dreaming. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't say this. Okay, well I'll tell you about the PG one. The one was like, I was like, oh dude, I'm lucid dreaming. So I walked into this room and I was aware that I was the one walking. And then I just went into the room and it was just like this old bed and this old mirror. And then I was like, okay, well let me look to see who's in the bed. And then I woke up.
See, I've heard that if you find yourself in a lucid dream, you can actually make yourself yell, increase lucidity. Like I've heard that's one technique. Increase lucidity.
I can't wait till like I'm camping with one of you guys. And then I should, like Robby and Thomas are in a tent, and then Robby goes, "Increase lucidity!" And Thomas
It's
wakes
happened
up.
twice now on our trips. Robbie's
Robbie's
yelling at me in the middle
Yeah.
of the night. All right, so we got some more questions here.
Okay, well, why don't we get through these real quick before we go to the Instagram ones, since
Okay.
those are built up.
All right.
So-
Real quick, if you have any questions, ask them here. We're answering.
Okay. Would you rather listen to only music but never watch films, or watch only films and never listen to music?
That's a tough
Oh
one.
man.
Well, I gotta go with films. I gotta watch films.
Well, the first one was music, no film.
Yeah, just vice versa. Music for me. I
Music
have
for
to have
me.
music.
Yeah.
Like I watch maybe 2 or 3 movies a year,
Yeah, I'm with
and I
you.
make enough videos myself that I'm good on the
See,
videos.
that's the thing is because I like watching movies and I love music, but I don't listen to it as much as most people. But then I realized that I use it in a utilitarian way in the sense that I listen to it when I like go jogging and stuff, and it really helps with that.
Yeah.
Music.
Okay, so Muhammad Umar Mustafa asks 3 questions. Let's pick one of them.
It's the most interesting.
Why don't you ask one of the Instagram questions while we pick
All right.
one of these?
Let's see. Have you ever been to Alaska? I used to live there and did an amazing 3-day, 30-mile hike called Crow Pass. This comes from Lanatendo. Okay, so
Nintendo.
Lanatendo.
Like Lindsay.
Anyone been to Alaska?
No, I would like to be. Well,
No,
I
we
guess
did,
we
yeah.
technically
But-
have
Just say,
been to
haven't you?
Alaska.
But
We-
only
we-
to like the city.
It was on a cruise with our parents, and
long while
we
back.
didn't really do anything there except we went to one of the cities. And
We saw like glaciers and hills and
yeah,
stuff.
we
It was
took like
super cool,
we took. Was that the one where we took one of those big snowmobiles to the mobiles up to the top of the
but-
glacier?
No, that was in Banff, I think.
Was that
like a
Banff?
long
Oh,
time
yeah,
ago.
you're
That
right,
was a
yeah.
long time
Okay,
ago.
so yeah, we barely did anything in Alaska
Mhm.
because long story short, it was like our first family's cruise, and we were like, oh, should we pay extra money for these, the extra things that you can do? And in the end, afterwards, we were like, yeah, you should, because a lot of the stuff sounded interesting. Like one was like riding on a dog sled and things like that. But anyways, I think we've all discussed it. We'd really like to go to Alaska. We're just not sure about the whole preparation and everything. We haven't really launched into it, but it's definitely going to happen.
Mhm.
Just not sure when.
Got a good one for you, Robbie.
Okay, well, hold on
Okay,
to that one.
okay.
So we'll ask Muhammad's question. Would you rather lose all of your money and valuables, or all of the pictures and videos you have ever taken?
Well, for us especially, it's like
Yeah, that's like a no-brainer.
we'll have
Thomas like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Money.
Thomas will keep the money and valuables, and then he'll fund our playground.
The question is like, if you lose all your pictures and videos, that would be bad, but you could also just say it's a fresh start. You can start
that's
remaking
true.
new pictures
I've
and
lost
videos.
a whole hard drive of pictures before, and you get over it.
Yeah.
And you forget that you ever had them.
That's true, yeah. And
Like when it comes to Adventure Archives videos, if I lost those completely, that would be devastating.
Yeah.
Like that would be way worse than losing
Yeah.
all my money.
I don't even want to think about that one.
No, it's not. Well, I've got them backed up, so don't worry.
Do you want your question now?
Yeah, sure.
All right. What type of music? Well, let me make sure this comes from. You don't want to see my face. This comes from Kamish321. Are there any post-rock influences in your scores?
Post-rock influence. I don't know what that means.
Just like post-rock.
I guess that's
music.
a no.
Yeah, well, not
So,
consciously.
Inadvertently.
What
maybe.
type of music influences your scores?
So the biggest one is video game music.
Okay.
So we've got all the classic 16-bit composers like Nobuo Uematsu, Yasunori Mitsuda, and Yoko Shimomura. So like think like the Street Fighter soundtrack, Final Fantasy soundtracks, Chrono Trigger, anything made for the Super Nintendo. Really, that's my biggest influence, I would say. Andrew?
No, I was just adjusting my glasses.
No, what's your biggest?
Yours is a lot of new age stuff, right?
Yeah, so there's the video game music for sure, and then there's like a bunch of.
But I wouldn't say video game music really influences your music.
Well, some of it. But like some of it is also like trip hop, house music. I don't even know what you would call
Tycho,
it.
right?
Yeah,
Oh,
Tycho.
Tycho.
Desmond and Cheese, I think, is something really cool to listen to. Just any sort of like mellow, like atmospheric sort of ambient stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Nujabes.
Yeah, if you watch our videos, you can, after a while, you can distinctly figure out who wrote
it's
what
very
song.
easy.
I mean, mine's like obvious, but
It's a good thing I don't write music.
my biggest influences are people like
Andy.
Andy McKee, Don Ross. I'm always finding new people on YouTube. Like there's a new one named I think his name's Andy Gogol or something like that. But anybody who, like, I love acoustic guitar music, and I pretty much have acoustic guitar in every one of my songs. But actually, I wouldn't say he's an influence anymore, but someone who influenced me at the very beginning was John Mayer, because I found his music, especially his guitar, like, writing.
Some early stuff.
Yeah, it was very divergent from a lot of the typical pop music, where it was like, oh, 4 power chords in a row. His music was very unique, and I listened to it, and I love that kind of stuff.
It's funny, man. I'm so bad at talking about music. Like I love listening to music, and it's really like I feel it and everything. But I feel like I find a lot of songs on YouTube that I like, but I don't follow the artists themselves. So I can't have a conversation with someone like, oh, who do you listen to?
No, yeah,
think that's
that
okay.
happens all the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
for me. Is whenever I'm having a conversation and it comes down to, oh, what kinds of music do you like? I'm like, I just like whatever, vibes with me.
I think most people are like that too. Like especially if you listen to the radio. I mean, I guess people don't listen to radio as much anymore, but like with Spotify and Pandora and all those things, you can specifically pick what you want to listen to. So
I just hang out with all the hipsters.
music hipsters.
I got another question. This comes from Penny Travel TV. Do you guys receive a lot of sponsorships, or are you guys picky in what brands you guys choose to endorse? I guess
we currently don't take sponsorships.
Yeah, we've never been we've never been paid to do anything.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We do get requests a lot, mostly from a lot of Chinese companies that I think are just kind of mass
Reviewing
email,
products, yeah.
mass email out there. And we did one, and then we said we're never going to do this.
So I
again.
mean, we've done reviews that were sent to us for free.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
did the backpack for Sierra Trading Company.
Sierra Trading Post.
They sent us a free backpack with the intent of reviewing it. The sleeping bag review I'm going to be doing, that was sent for free. That pen light that you had.
Yeah,
sent for
that's
free.
right. And then-
That's actually a good headlight. But
So yeah, I guess the answer though is that we're picky.
Yeah,
So,
we are
like,
very picky.
Because we don't even really like making review videos that much.
That's the biggest thing is.
and we also let them know ahead of time we're just going to be honest. Like we're not going to. Yeah.
And then you sometimes get in this awkward situation where like, well, we sent you this, we need to approve this before you can send this out. It's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. And we're not.
Oh, really? That's
yeah,
not
you
nice.
got to stand behind your product if you're going to
That's
send
only
it out for
happened with
review.
that one though, right?
Yeah.
The pen.
Yeah. And
Oh,
that's after that we decided we could do it
Yeah.
again.
And we also decided that, like, if we're going to do product reviews, then it'd have to be a lot more often, because I feel like none of us really think we're qualified to fully review something and be like, I think this meets our expectations, and I think it would meet, so-and-so's expectations, because a lot of people have a lot more experience with what kind of backpack they want or whatever,
Well, I mean,
No, it's also the nature of the stuff in that like people want different things in gear. Like one backpack that works really well for one person might not be what someone else is looking
Exactly.
they'd have to know what our tastes are and what we're looking
yeah,
for.
yeah.
Like, I mean, like, just in general doing reviews, like, I feel like a lot of reviews, that's the kind of thing on Amazon and YouTube, you see all these reviews. These people have had these things for like a couple days.
Mhm.
And like, that is influencing people's purchases so much.
Yeah.
But like that camera review video I did, we used those cameras for 2 years before I did a review. I feel like that is a quality review.
But you still got so much crap on that because you're like, oh,
Yeah, no, I mean, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with taking that
another
crap.
thing.
that's
Yeah.
just trolls at this point.
Yeah, but
Okay,
sorry.
I have some more questions. This comes from Will McKean. What's the longest backpacking trip you would ever want to go on? For instance, would a week-long trip in the wilderness be too much?
No, I would love that.
Actually, I'm planning to do one. I haven't actually, planning in the sense that I want to do it, and I probably will do it next year, but we haven't released it, but Pictured Rocks video, I really want to hike the entire Pictured Rocks Lakeshore Trail.
That'd be cool.
Which I would probably plan to take a week, but I might do more just to kind of be a bit more leisure.
I mean, for me, I was all ready to do the PCT. I have actually still have my permit for the PCT this year, but I'm not going to do it because I'm doing it with you. Well, I'm working with you guys instead for 6 months. But I mean, I'm sure I'd love to do that at some point. But Robby, what about you?
Yeah, no, in the past I would have said no, because I was always really worried about food. I was like, how can you get enough food for like a really long trip? But just lately, just with experimenting with not having so much food while camping, you don't need nearly as much as what I said.
All right, next question. Sarah K. Snyder, can my dog and I join you on your next adventure?
Someday.
I mean,
Someday.
it's always a possibility.
Mhm.
Like, look us up on Facebook and...
We would like to remain non-committal, mostly just because, like,
It's
we can't
because,
do it.
like we said, just planning a trip between the three of us and then trying to get Thomas in too, like, it's really difficult. So whenever, like, trying to get an extra person in there, especially a guest where it's like we don't know their schedule, it just makes it a lot tougher.
We do want to do meetups and stuff.
We do want to do meetups, and that's one of the things we want to do when we do this road trip back home is, for anyone, we're doing a road trip back home, and
There will be an announcement video with much more details about that.
probably before this video
Wait,
even comes out.
road trip? What?
We'll explain everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was this discussed when I was
You were-
still asleep?
Probably.
And we're looking for people's advice, people's recommendations on places to go, things to do, and if anyone wants to meet up and it's not too far out of the way, we'd love to do that.
Yeah, so just in general, we don't want to exclude one person.
No.
Like, to be like, oh yeah, we'll take you on the trip.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
exactly.
everybody like, well, I want to go too.
Mhm.
So that's why we want to do like a meetup where
Yeah.
we can just say, hey, we're going to go here,
Mhm.
we'll all hike together. If you want to come out,
Yeah.
And one big thing also we should add is that what you see in the videos, I mean, there's a reason we hike like 2 or 3 miles
Yeah.
a day. It's because we stop a lot and we film a lot, and a lot of people who are new to it, like in crematory and even Thomas,
Yeah.
Oh, God.
they
the
get
first time-
so frustrated
Yeah.
with it. So it's like we don't, and we kind of don't want to break that illusion in some respects.
A good hike for me is about 15 miles in a day uphill, and uphill most of the way, or halfway.
Both ways.
But when we did Yosemite, my friends actually, friends from high school, we just redid that hike. It took us no time to get to the top of Yosemite Falls.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it took us no time, and I was like, oh my god, what did we do wrong before? It was because we were filming everything.
Yeah, it's funny. Somebody recently said, I got a piece of advice for you guys. You guys should stop complaining so much. And actually, in retrospect, maybe that is good advice, because for somebody who's just doing the trail, like if they go out and do it, they won't be complaining as much because they're not basically doing the trail.
Do we complain
I feel
on
like
this
we
stuff?
complain a lot. Yeah.
Depends.
Not on camera.
On the.
I don't remember what the comment was.
On the Smokies you did.
But that made it fun.
That was
fun.
pretty miserable
Yeah.
though. It
But
was
that made
raining
it,
the whole
yeah.
time.
First of all, it was actually legitimately miserable. Second of
Yeah.
all, it's fun to watch sometimes people's misery. You know?
Yeah.
The Yosemite one, I think it wasn't as enjoyable because you guys were, you guys were chugging along because that was your first real mountain hike like that. Whitney, I think Whitney was a good struggle between the two because Whitney we were talking about how easy it was, and then it wasn't so much like the difficulty. It was just
We didn't even complain in Whitney.
you were just sick.
The
of it.
only one I can
one.
think of was crematory, and that was also genuine. Like
Yeah,
we
I-
were beat by the end of that.
I did not enjoy. I mean, I enjoyed watching it. I would not have enjoyed being there.
Doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What was even the question?
Oh well, it was about hiking with us. But bottom line is, we'd love to do meetups. Like the idea of a meetup, day hikes, maybe like even like an overnight at a campground would be cool. But we just can't commit to
Yeah.
saying yes to one person
Mhm.
and then having to like incorporate that into like with other people. It's not like we don't want to.
No,
it's
it's
just difficult.
Yeah. Next question comes from Will McKean. What's the Mount Everest? When is the Mount Everest video coming?
Never.
Never.
I have zero desire to hike it, and also like they use dead bodies as trail markers, so it's like
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously it's a little tongue-in-cheek comment.
no,
but-
yeah.
But just in general, I think we try to limit ourselves on the extremely strenuous trips because,
Yeah.
Well, also the filming process.
yeah, the whole filming process is one thing, but we always actually talk about like, oh, we're doing a canoeing episode next time because we want to relax.
No, like the Mount Whitney, you literally just walk to the top. Like there's no pickaxes and like actual ropes and stuff.
Depending on the
involved.
time of year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right. But so I like doing mountain episodes now because they just make such good episodes. But I don't think we'll ever do anything that requires more than just walking.
Yeah.
You know.
I think the filming process is
Yeah.
the biggest hindrance.
All right, I got 2 questions. One's a quick one. Abby McGooman. Abby McGooman.
Is that the name?
I think so.
Why are you hiding the screen?
No, I'm doing it to stabilize it. Sorry. Abby McGooman asks, "Hello, how are you today? How are you today?"
We're good.
Good.
Okay.
Like we're all pretty good.
All right, that was a quick, easy one.
It took way longer than
Here is a good one, again from Penny Travel TV. Do you guys get into arguments as far as creativity and what you guys want to show in your videos?
Debates,
Can
like not
I
arguments.
Yeah.
answer first? Okay. Well, I just want to say that in terms of creativity, I think Andrew and Robby handle a lot on the editing creative side. And when they get most of the editing out of the way, we sit down and we watch it and we like clean it up. But honestly, that's one of the big reasons why I've kind of not ever poked my head into that whole editing thing, because I think 2 people at most is as much
That's fair. Yeah.
opinions as you need. If you throw a third person in there, and like let's say for example you guys are editing videos, right? And then I sit down and start to edit the video. I think you guys would come back to it and be like, what is this? Like,
Yeah,
no, this isn't good.
yeah.
This isn't good.
We do that to each other too.
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly. So I think just to minimize that kind of stuff, we keep the editing just them 2, and now you guys can answer if you guys argue.
Like, not argue.
Yeah, no, it's
We
never
definitely have
like
creative
an argument,
differences.
yeah.
I would say some of the more arguments that we get into is the strategy of the channel and what direction do we want to
Yeah.
take
That's
certain videos. What direction when do we want to release a video? A lot of times is okay. More the business aspect, I'd say. Do we want to include this product? Do we want to not include this product?
The creative side, like I feel like we trust each other's sense of
Mm.
like taste. So like if somebody feels really strongly about something, then you're just like, okay, well I trust your opinion on this, let's
Yeah.
go with that. Even though I liked what I was doing better, maybe you're probably right about this because you feel that strongly about it.
I'm very lucky where I'm probably the least creative of the 4 of us, and so it's just easy to know. Oh, you have a better idea. It's got to be better. It's gotta be better. Sometimes I'll throw in the hat and be like, hey, maybe we should trim this and like make 2 or 3 different videos out of this one video, and that's where we get in. That's actually where we got into some of our biggest arguments.
Oh,
was,
yeah.
we wanted to break up certain videos in different.
Oh yeah,
different
way back
parts.
when.
Yeah, like the
Our-
main episodes.
So
Yeah.
our full episodes originally we were thinking of breaking into smaller chunks.
I don't know what your opinion on that still is.
My opinion is it would make us more money, and it might have gotten us more views and everything. But you guys convinced me that it's part of the creative process.
Yeah.
That this is the final video, and it took me like a season to get behind it. But I was like, yeah, no, it makes sense that you guys are making one full video.
Yeah.
Again, if we want to make more money, then
Well, just speaking from like
Just
my
every
own
two
YouTube,
minutes.
yeah, just speaking from my own personal YouTube usage though, it's like whenever I am watching a YouTube video, like some videos they throw in that like mid ad thing,
Oh, yeah.
or some videos they do break it up like in smaller chunks, and it always pulls me out of the video, always disconnects me.
Even on like when I'm scrolling through Facebook and a video starts playing and then they have like an ad in the middle of it, I'm like immediately scroll away.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
You lost your chance.
got one more question. All right, this is the last one. This comes from Lastin77. I don't think we can help you with regards to the location, but he asked, my wife and I are going to Havasu Falls, which I think is...
I really want to go there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
in Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon, yeah.
we've never been there, so we can't give advice. But the next question is, any advice for video and photos? So
Waterproof, or at least some sort of waterproofing.
But if you were to film an episode, kind of what we were doing earlier today, if you could give one piece of advice to someone taking pictures or making a video of a trip like this, what would be your one piece of advice?
I've got a thought, which is compose your picture or video, compose your shot in a way that is really different from what a human would see with his eye. Because like, I feel like a lot of times when shots aren't impressive, it's like just a straight up shot of something.
Just a GoPro with
Right.
It's like eye level looking
Yeah.
forward.
And that doesn't necessarily mean like you have to dangle from a tree and like get an upside down
Yeah.
thing. But like even if you're doing a shot
Variety is a spice.
like even a shot of just like even if it is a boring shot in theory, you can make it super precise and like lined up and make it interesting that way. So.
Robbie?
Well, what we were talking about earlier today is make sure we can hear what you're saying and see what you're doing. Well, are they trying to make like a video?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, yeah, just if you're going to be talking on camera,
Mhm.
make sure that you can actually hear what you're saying. So get up close to the camera so that
Yeah.
you're able to be heard.
Brian?
Just make sure you take the time to make sure the shot is good. Don't just, like, for lack of a better term, don't half-ass it. Like, make sure your settings are right or whatever, make sure it's lined up and it's in focus. That's a big thing.
Well, something I just thought of what you made me think of is this sound counterintuitive, but don't take too many shots.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Because if you take too many shots, like they could all be really great, but when it comes to editing, you just have too much to work with, and it paralyzes you, and you're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's a balance.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's the answers he was looking for.
And my last piece of advice would be, if you're watching the video and you're finding that you're bored watching your own video, then there's probably something wrong and other people are going to be bored watching that video. So make a video, become your biggest fan, and also become your biggest critic. That's what Andrew said. Quick, last, are we on time?
Oh, we're good.
All right. Some speed round? Want to do some speed round?
Yeah,
we
can.
Lightning round?
Okay.
Let's go with, I'm going to ask Andrew on this one. What ramen restaurant would you recommend in Columbus?
I'd recommend a pho restaurant, but okay, ramen.
Speed, lightning.
Come on. Shinsuki, I guess.
What is it?
Or Fukuiru. I've never actually been there.
Just give the pho restaurant instead.
Yeah, I don't even remember. It's on Lane. It's called Pho Hut or something.
Okay.
I love pho, but I can't remember the restaurant.
Brian, this one's for you.
Okay.
Jared Sutherland's going to Red River Gorge this Friday. What should he hike?
What should he hike?
Yeah, the Red River Gorge.
I think the trail that we did was actually really fantastic.
Go to Hanson's Point.
Go to Hanson's
Yeah,
Point.
definitely go to
Hanson's
Hanson's
Point.
Point. It's
Forget
not marked on the
everything
map though, so.
Let's see, Robbie. This comes from Abby McGooman again. She asks, are you going to Japan anytime soon?
Maybe. I had nothing planned, but maybe.
I want to go back to Japan.
I want to go to Japan. I've never been to Japan.
Let's go to
so.
Japan.
Let's go to Japan. We go to Japan.
Let's see. Okay, will you guys ever climb Mount Fuji? Yes, no.
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 Maybe.
Good. I like that one.
Everybody told me Mount Fuji looks ugly when you actually go there, so it's better to look from afar.
Let's see. And Thomas, are you ever going to hike the JMT? This is from oh my God, I can't pronounce these. Stritz. C Stritz. Am I ever going to hike the JMT? Hopefully at some point, but probably not this year. Would I ever hike Denali? I would love to hike Denali, but
That
I
would be great.
don't have. Oh, I would love to hike not
Around-
the mountain.
yeah.
Yeah,
Denali.
yeah.
but I would- yeah,
I was
not
thinking the park.
The park, yeah,
Yeah.
not the mountain. I'm not as good as.
I think Denali is
No
the
one takes on that.
highest in terms of difference in height.
I believe it
Is that one where you have to do pickaxe?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for the group, last one for sure, from Alex Trowski. Alex Trowski.
Is it Trotsky from Animal Farm?
I think so, yeah.
No, Trotsky is the real figure.
The real
that
figure?
a snowball is based on Animal Farm.
Will you guys ever come to Scotland?
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Gotta go to the Scottish Highlands, right?
Yeah.
All right, someone's going to take us and welcome us and adopt us in Scotland. And
I need
then
a Scottish egg.
Curtis, I love Scottish. Curtis Michael May. Who would win in a fight, Mighty Mouse or Superman? Last one.
Who's Mighty Mouse?
I don't know who Mighty
Mighty
Mouse
Mouse
is.
is a cartoon. You seen that one?
No.
Oh.
I think it's Superman. though,
Superman.
so no matter what, yeah.
Superman. If they're both like superheroes and one's way bigger, why wouldn't the bigger one win?
Is Mighty Mouse small?
Yeah, he's a mouse.
That's what I figured. I just.
He's one human sized.
He'd be harder to hit though.
All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much, guys. We are done. Watch this. You want to close the podcast then?
Yeah, I think that's it, right? Any
Yeah.
closing
Thank you
thoughts?
Thank you for watching this podcast. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Please share our videos.
We're gonna make a video about.
And remember,
sharing.
if you've got camping recipes that are practical and you want to share them and you want us to try to make a video on them, share those too.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who is watching.